here. All right, let me fix your camera, John. There you go.
Look, I have so much more hair in my head.
You have a lot more hair than my friend Jim Colbert. I'll tell you that. That guy.
Come on.
That guy.
Plus, you got to go to
Why'd you say
Turkey.
that?
Have you seen that? That's the thing now.
Yeah.
Go to Turkey to get a hair transplant.
Yes. Well, it's cheaper, and
It
they do
is,
the
yeah.
same quality.
Yeah.
But by coincidence,
How much cheaper is cheaper enough for the
It's more
hotel
than half. It's more than half of the cost.
and plane and
Like,
all
Yeah,
that?
it's cheaper to fly there and hang out at a resort for a week.
It is cheaper.
That's
than...
crazy.
All right. Okay, cool. That's good. You can hear okay, John?
Yep.
Awesome. I got the one thing you have on the camera. Those Post Malone Oreos have to go outside.
Oh, because you'll eat them?
I'm addicted to those things, dude.
That's good. So for once you
Have you had them?
Yeah.
I love me and Maisie.
I think. Well, we'll get to it, but I think all of their gingerbread, cinnamon, butterscotch, they all taste the same.
Okay.
They all taste like
fake
something.
I think my friend Angel
geez,
sort of
let me-
agrees like
What
that.
the hell?
No, you're
I tried to
good.
make it better, and I got.
No, you're
I
fine.
got a alfalfa cowlick.
Look at what I'm working with.
Well, I considered wearing a
I
I
got like a
start wearing
whole
hats.
greasy hair thing going on here. All right, Tom, would you like to begin?
Yeah.
Check. Here we go. In 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. With us in studio, our friend that likes to present to us random
Yeah. King of snacks.
snacks.
He's the king of snacks.
Food from
well researched.
Yeah. And in
Means
fact,
I eat a lot of stuff.
you get in my mind now. In fact, my wife Andrea told me to tell you that whenever we shop, we have 2 products in our cabinet right now we haven't opened that I was supposed to bring today that I'm realizing I forgot. One of them was a apple cider vinegar potato chip. Delicious by Kettle. Fantastic. And the other you did bring, so we do have them. Ladies and gentlemen, king of snacks. And
I'll have to buy that URL.
You're our snack
King of
man.
snacks.
It is our friend John Graham.
Howdy.
Someone call him the Elon Musk of snacks.
Yeah, they do say that. They do say that.
Please don't do
Yeah,
that.
he is 100%. They call him that.
For a second, I thought about trying a South African accent.
All right.
He will salute.
Yeah, he will. He salutes all
Sorry,
state. Let's
John.
play his theme song.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for another edition of What's in My Mouth.
What's in my mouth? What's in my mouth? What's in my mouth? In my mouth?
It's not a penis.
All right, we can't play that.
It's not a penis.
This is the way you get all the corporate sponsors.
What'd you think?
John got legitimately excited at the beginning, and then we ruined it.
That was the goal.
I knew something was
Yeah,
coming.
That was the goal.
See,
I know what you appreciate. I think that you and I run in some of the same circles with music and the things that we appreciate. And I wanted to take you down a road, and then we'd get down there, and then I wanted to just swing you out of the cart.
Yeah. And you did mention corporate sponsors, which I would.
I don't really have any. but,
And no, I would want. I mean, if we got some of that Oreo money,
Oh,
I
my
mean,
God.
they
Big Post.
Yeah, if they're paying Post Malone,
Oh, my God.
he
He can't even read.
Yeah, it's a weird.
He can't even read. Jelly Roll's got an endorsement with Under Armour. How did that happen? How did Jelly Roll get an endorsement with Under Armour?
It's overarm.
Remember, like when I was in high school, Under Armour was a terrible brand.
It was.
Yeah,
It was like
Yeah.
Kmart brand,
Yeah.
and now it's like hugely popular.
Look
It's
at him
kinda
now.
funny, yeah.
Hold
Look at
on.
him now. It's because they signed one big sports star. I think one of the first stars to ever sign with Under Armour and made the brand. I want to say, I could be wrong on this, but I want to say they signed, and this is a weird one, but it worked. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I think they
Okay.
signed him, and he was doing some of that like it was almost like a hybrid sportswear and Big Dog.
Do you think it's because they're like, all right, we already have the athletes, but we need the fatzos that their skin rubs together, and they need to stop the chafing? So Under Armour stop the chafing. Is it something like
Stop
that?
the chafing.
Because that's the only
Yeah.
reason
Yeah. That's
that
I
Jelly
think-
Roll would need Under
I think
Armour.
I think you nailed it.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like that's
yeah.
why they use him as an endorsement.
Hold the rolls.
Because it'll turn their skin gray.
Slow your roll.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
there you go.
Slow your roll. Under Armour Jelly Roll.
Quick, trademark it.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, John. Before we started this segment,
Mm-hmm.
you and Daniel started talking and getting very excited
were screaming. I was screaming.
about old school radio
yeah.
and how they used to run their commercials.
Yeah.
And then when you told me how it used to work, because when I started radio, even though it was in 2003, like it already had profit, and it was just, although they still had like mini discs, and we still play our best stuff that way, which
Well,
which I
mini
did look
discs-
around and said, this is insane.
Well, the mini disc was nothing more than a way to record shows. So like when we used mini disc, it was the easiest and best like format for sticking in a blank mini disc and then just hitting record for 90 minutes. You knew that you could get the entire show.
yeah.
And it would be like CD quality.
And I guess they didn't have
Whatever the hell that means. now,
Yeah.
right?
back in '04, they didn't have the storage capacity, I guess, to do it all digital. Like it hadn't gotten
I mean,
there
we
yet.
didn't have hard drives. Like we didn't have.
Yeah.
They were around, but they were like sophisticated machinery. Like you didn't just carry. Like now, people carry around like 100 gigs in a flash drive in their
hold
pocket.
a terabyte in the palm of your hand. now.
Yeah.
So you were telling me that they used to run commercials by real time. The person would type in
Yeah.
what was it called?
Well, we called it the IR, the instant replay. I think a lot of 80s and 90s radio, people just use it to play the funny sound effects.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
you
what we
just,
did.
like-
Or the instant replay for me, what I would use it for is like if somebody called in and they're like, "Hey, you just won those tickets. Who's rocking your balls?" And then the guy would, "Hey, it's JRR, man." And you'd be like, "Thanks so much." And then so then you'd record that and then you'd and you'd edit it all up, and then as you were getting ready to play like Pantera or something, like it'd start playing, and you'd play the drop, and you'd go, "Hey, thanks for rocking my balls, JRR."
Yeah.
JRR. And then you'd hit play, and it'd play that, and then you'd be like, "I'm a DJ. Look at me."
It is more impressive what like board ops used to do as compared to now. It's
Yeah.
because I was a board op for 1 year of my life.
Yeah, I
and-
trained you, and I take great pride in that.
and it
My
wa-
liege. I trained great. You know what? I trained him, and I'm going to give you a compliment. He outdid the master. He became better than me.
I didn't even.
And why he became
just
better
hit
than
one
me?
button.
This man was able to, for a full year, not play one EAS test. And if you can do that and not get fired, I feel like you are the master.
All I
You're
had
the true master.
I just had to put the volume up and hit one button. I didn't even do anything. Back in the day, you guys had to type it. What were you
Yeah.
doing?
Okay. So for me, and mine, I think mine was even worse than what you were describing. Because for mine, we had a piece of equipment called the DigiCart, same company. I think it was called 360 or 360 Replay, I think was the name of the company. And you can buy these online. I wanted to get one for the studio, but it would literally be like buying a landline for the studio, right? Like why do I need that? But it was a box, and then it had a little remote pad like you would have like the person in the courtroom has, like a
stenographer?
stenographer, like it was like a little pad with numbers on it.
Yeah.
And it had a few other little characters like a play and record. And if you had, let's say you had a Thurston's Used Cars, then you had, like, say you had Walmart, then you have Don Mealy Chevrolet, you've got all your ads. You'd have to find the number. So Don Mealy's 3311. Then you'd find Walmart, that's 2286. Then you find, Peaches Records, that's 2281. And you'd have to memorize all these 4-digit numbers or look them up on a little piece of paper. And so for the spot,
Paper?
I know. So the spot block would have like 6 spots in it. So you'd go like 2241, 4446, and you'd enter them all in, and you'd look. There was no screen. And you'd look and you'd see, okay, they're all in order. You had like almost like a little LCD where you could see what you were writing, but you had no computer screen or anything. And
it was just like green,
black and
green,
gray with
like DOS.
Yeah, it's like gray
Dot
with
matrix.
dark black.
Okay,
that's what you're looking at. And you type in your numbers, and they're playing, and you hit a timer, right? Because you know your spot block's 6 minutes long. Boom, you hit your timer, and you had it set for 6 minutes, and it starts counting down, and boom. Better wish it's right. Hope it's right.
That's why I was like, you would think, commercial break, that's when you'd run to the bathroom. But I was always afraid that what if I screwed these things up, like the third one in suddenly doesn't play.
So you just pee your
And
pants.
so
That's what I did.
I would just hold it for 4
I would
hours.
just I would just use the bathroom in my pants. Boom.
Because it was a smooth jazz station, so it's not like, there's a lot of 8-minute songs.
Yeah.
And then I was always afraid if
It
I left
was
the studio. I was there on the weekend, so I was the only person in the whole
It
building.
was a lot more
I was afraid
stressful.
I'd leave and get locked out.
There was really no such thing as true automation. It was very stressful.
Yeah.
Because like
you were
if you
doing
wanted,
it real time.
So like if I were working on the weekends running music for a real radio even, and then I wanted to smoke a cigarette, and believe me, I did because I was totally addicted. I would put on like, the Smiths' "How Soon Is Now," which is 7 minutes and 48 seconds or something. Drew Garabo taught me that, and that was his weed song. And we'd put that on, and then you'd time it. You put it on like a timer that you take with you. Your phone didn't have a timer. You'd have to back time it in your mind, or you just run and hope. You'd be like, well, if I run down there and hotbox a cigarette, I'll be up by 2 minutes left.
You looked at your watch.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Yeah.
And you'd run down the stairs.
It's so funny too because as automation got I came into radio when things were basically automated. Yeah. And I remember thinking to myself, I looked around, I'm like, you don't need a human to do this. Because I'm hitting one button and then everything's on profit, just going like you can load it all in, and then now of course there's program directors that do it from their house. They're just loading stuff in.
Oh, yeah.
to
Jack
the
does
system.
that sometimes. But anyway, I guess we should dig in now to the things that we're going to put in our mouths.
New foods I brought in. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I've got one right by you guys.
Okay.
Better Goods. It's that little blue tub thing there.
Okay.
So if you were to just look at that, what store would you figure that came from? I think it looks very Target-y.
You know what I'm going to guess on colors? Can I guess on colors?
Sure.
IKEA.
No,
I was gonna go Aldi.
Walmart.
No, okay.
Walmart.
If you all look at Walmart, it's called Better Goods. They've been doing all kind. If you look, there's all kinds of Better Goods stuff across Walmart now. They're trying to get slightly fancier stuff.
This
so
is
these are
awesome.
like one's an Italian tuna pasta bowl, one's a Mexican, one's Italian, and they're shelf stable. So like you can put that in your drawer and it's good till 2027.
I don't like how Walmart's trying to trick me. It should be an airbrush. Because I know it's Walmart.
And the fact that they're calling it Better Goods, is tricking my brain into thinking this is truly a Better Good.
And here, Terramin, there's a spork in there too.
Okay.
Essentially, it doesn't look like a can, but it's as much canned goods as a can of soup.
Now,
oh wow, this is like this. You know what this is? This is a cleverly packaged into the world food.
Yeah, exactly. Hurricanes and
this is cleverly
the end times
packaged
are
into
coming.
the end time. Yeah, this is I'm scared to death food.
yeah, is Mexican tuna salad, which is something that I never really
I had some of that last night.
wanted to put together.
I tried. Who's got the Italian one? I tried that.
I've got the
days ago.
Italian one.
It's okay. I mean,
Okay.
it's a canned pasta salad.
Oh wow,
so,
okay. It already looks a little rough. I mean, we're off to
Yeah.
look at monkey brains like Indiana Jones.
How long will this?
Oh man, it stinks like fish. Oh God, I can't do it.
Hot sauce.
I'm not
Hot
a
sauce
tuna
helps
guy.
a lot. I'll
Don't
put it that
know
way.
I like tuna.
I
I
hate
love
tuna.
tuna.
I hate
Oh,
it.
okay. Well,
This
there
is
you
food.
go.
I hate tuna.
If you don't like
John.
canned tuna, sorry.
I hate canned tuna.
A little bit of Tom and Dan
Oh, I
history.
hate. Oh God, it smells like. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, I like that fish.
I know you love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
This guy, every morning, let's go back to radio. Every morning, he'd go downstairs, he'd eat a 2-foot-long tuna sub.
Well, no.
Hot sauce all over
Well,
it.
no, you're traumatized from when we started our business, and this is it. When we were recording at Daniel's house, Studio 2. I would
Call it Studio Tuna.
I would go to the Subway.
Yeah.
There was walking distance to get a big tuna sub, and I eat it in my
one.
chair.
Oh, big
and it
one.
made Daniel so mad.
Yeah,
It
who gets
stunk,
a tuna sub with onions and pickles on it? Who does that?
It stunk the whole studio up.
Actually, that's what I put in my tuna salad.
Is it onions and pickles?
Sweet pickles and onions.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Maybe some black olives.
Oh, that's some good.
He spit it on his finger and re-ate it. That's disgusting.
That's a good fish.
Remind me to clean his mic today. My God.
Like some good stinky tuna, extra stinky. That's good. I'll
So
eat
I-
this for lunch.
It's,
This is
it's
so
to me, it's
gross.
just like, oh, my boss won't
And
let
the
me
chat
leave. I
room.
guess I'll have to eat
And the
this
chat
on my
room, the
desk.
irony of me having, I was born with a tuna can, and maybe that's why I hate it. Maybe that's why I hate it, a boy named Tuna Can.
Yeah.
So those are out there. If what's funny is somebody who created the packaging has a sense of humor. The Mexican one, if you look at the ingredients, one of them is actually red hot chili peppers.
It would be like
It doesn't say. It doesn't just say chili
I
peppers.
thought you were
going
gonna
to
go. I thought you were gonna go racist, John. I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad you didn't.
it'd be like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar hating eggplants because giant.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
not the
I
racist
think-
part.
I got it
was
faster
like,
than
what?
Dan, but I
I was
pretended
like,
I
what the
didn't.
hell is this guy
I was
doing?
gonna use the black sausage as a joke, but I was like, because just anyway. Sorry. Let's move on.
Next
Yeah,
one.
let's move
All right,
on.
well, here, the Whole Shebang potato chips. I found these at a
Yeah.
7-Eleven a while back. These are most well known in prisons.
Yeah.
They were originally only available in prison commissaries,
These are.
and then people got out and wanted them and wanted the taste. And they couldn't buy them.
Yeah. I want a flavor from prison. These are.
There's a version. One of the wrap snacks is kind of like these, but this is the original. The Whole
So
Shebang.
is it because
Oh wow, that's
The-
fantastic.
It's 4 flavors in one. Here, let me get this. It's ketchup flavor, barbecue flavor, sour cream and onion, and salt
Yeah.
and vinegar all mixed together.
Oh yeah, that slaps. That's the only good thing about jail.
I bet Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
There you go. You saved it. You saved it. He saved it.
Do you think it's because they needed to create a totally new brand for prisons because the regular chip brands didn't want to be in prison commissaries?
Well, they probably
Yeah,
just
I
threw
mean-
a name at it. I would imagine that somebody big is connected to this, right?
I would guess, but I'm not. The company that, not the company that makes them,
those
but
are
but the company
delicious.
that has them made, they do everything from.
Right? Those are. I mean,
That is good.
Yeah.
They're-
that's
yeah,
like-
they're seriously. They're
it's
great.
worth going to jail for.
The company that makes these actually does everything from deodorant to ramen to those
Yeah.
CD
And
players
it
that
all
are
is
clear on
that
the outside.
flavoring.
Okay.
Yeah.
They do it.
Yeah.
It burns my pit.
Oh, it's a sour cream and onion CD player. It's
That
delicious.
is a good chip.
Oh, dude, it's great.
Okay, yeah.
I can't buy them anymore because I'll eat the whole bag. Don't buy this for your wife; she'll get mad at you. She'll
For
be
a
like,
while
"Take
there,
these
they would
away."
only they would only FedEx them to people.
Now they have the other ones at 7-Eleven.
Mm-hmm.
They have some called Extra Shebang. It's
Oh, I haven't seen
that.
those yet.
It's that,
More?
and yeah, they're there now.
Mm-hmm.
They're in a black bag, and it's that with like 7,000 more sodium all over it. Yeah, 7,000 more milligrams.
Do you think, like, I can understand you do a stint in prison,
Yeah.
right? You do, let's say, 5 years, and you're eating these
That's-
chips all the
That's
time.
more than a stint.
And then you get out, and you're like, man, I love those chips.
regular chips just don't
So-
it for me anymore.
So you find the whole
chips in a man's hand.
you get these chips, but then when you're eating them,
Yeah.
doesn't it bring
You gotta go
back
to the zoo. You gotta go to the zoo. You gotta eat them at the zoo.
No, but you know how, like, if you eat something in
Yeah.
schools,
you
like
think it's
those-
gonna trigger them like a Vietnam vet? You start.
You can be nostalgia for anything you live through.
Yeah,
That's
but-
true. I learned that yesterday when I asked a question to Howie Mandel, and he didn't think I knew what nostalgia meant, and he shamed me and made me.
I knew that was gonna get
And,
you.
it,
I
and
thought
it
about
hurt.
that.
It hurt my heart, and I had to take it because I messed up the question. I phrased it incorrectly, and I sounded like an idiot.
But wouldn't the fact that it brings you back to a time that you don't want to remember, like, dissuade
I have foods
you
that do that.
from
I have
eating
foods,
those chips?
I have foods that like take me back to a time that was like traumatic.
yeah,
That I
like-
can't eat the food anymore.
Yeah, you would think that people
Like Mexican tuna salad. Something happened. I can't do it anymore. This guy's all in. He's been forking. When is the last time, John, you've ever seen Tom forking in between us talking? You like that
after we
fish.
stopped talking about it, he still kept eating.
You
it.
like
Yeah.
that fish.
I didn't eat my mid-morning protein bar because I knew John was
yeah.
coming, and I'm like, oh, I'm
Well,
gonna
I have
eat
a
this
protein
fish.
bar coming too.
Hey, why are you unzipping your pants?
I hate protein bars. I hate everything
Well,
I
you've been
eat.
so regimented now that you are going to start to rebel, but you got to hold tight. and be a
Yeah, well, no,
legend.
I don't care. I'll just keep doing it. But I hate it. I'm just
All
telling
right, what
you.
else we got?
I got one more chip. Let's see. You both got Guinness pretzel pieces in front of you.
All right.
One of them is called pub style. One is called cheese pub style.
Are these by Snyder's of Hanover?
They're similar, but I don't think they're by them.
These are by Vermont Cheese Products.
These look like Gordettos. My
Yeah, same market.
Yeah.
But they don't taste like anything else out there.
every,
they really
are they different ones?
well, just one has cheese and one is just straight Guinness flavor.
every time
Okay,
I
I'll
wa-
try Tom's.
every time I go into a like a rest stop on a road trip, and my wife and family are telling me to get some Gordettos, and I'm like, Gordettos? What are you guys, old grandmas? Like, there's so many better snacks than stinky old Gordettos.
I like the bagel chips in those. though.
Isn't it Gardettos?
Yeah, but just get some GD. What are they called? Bugles, then or whatever. Just get.
Well, those
don't,
are good too.
don't like pick out because my family does the same things. They pick out like I like the cheese
They're
doodles
not
in here.
They're not Gordettos.
No,
It's
whatever.
Gardettos.
Whatever.
I think you do this on purpose just to make people mad.
It just they pick out what they like. I'm just get what you like.
They make all bagel chips.
I know, but they get the stinky Gordettos.
Well,
Anyway.
Andrea doesn't let us get anything that's like like we have some regular chips in our house as like a goof and a fun, but like for regular snacks because she's on a health kick now.
Okay.
And it's all nutrition and macros and everything. We have these things called popcorners, which
Oh,
are
I've seen those.
popcorn that's been smushed into a chip, and they're terrible. They're not good.
But
Those-
don't you
these-
want?
These aren't bad.
So
They're
what do you
just-
think? I mean, it's a different flavor.
They're not
right?
as good as the Snyder's of
Oh,
Hanover.
the mustard onion ones. Those
I
are
think
very good too.
I think the honey mustard onion Snyder's are the ones that everybody freaks out over, right?
And the popcorn into a chip. Don't you want the popcorn in the traditional popped version?
I do,
because that's
but you
also
can't put
part
enough
of
in a
it.
bag.
Okay, so for
Because
like
if you bought a
stacking-
bag for like the week, you would need. Like the bag would be as large as I am. You know, it'd be a 5.5 foot tall bag of popcorn.
These are they're like
I vote no
Well,
on those.
you got to like the flavor or not like the flavor.
I don't like 'em.
It's yeasty and malty and those kinds of things.
I don't like it. Tom likes fish and not yeasty. Yeah, fish, pro fish.
They also
you
make.
think I'd like the yeast too, since I like fish. Just
Yeah.
you know, but I don't. Not
Yeah.
a yeast man.
Uh-uh.
More of all fish.
All fish,
The
man.
same company also makes a Guinness macaroni and cheese that I like.
Oh.
No.
I like that we're so close to the end of the universe that we're like, you know what? Let's just throw everything at the wall.
yeah.
We're out of time, right? So just throw everything at the wall.
All right. Okay, so
Ooh.
Tom's forehead wrinkled when
I've
I
had
pulled these
this.
out.
I've
These
had
are
this.
Reese's peanut butter flavors.
It's the best.
One protein bar.
No, it's
Okay.
not even a protein bar. It's a secret candy bar, and it's so good. I
Okay.
had one of
It
these.
does taste like a
I
protein
had
bar,
one of
though.
these, and it is so good because it's all peanut butter. It's a peanut butter lover's one. I bought you one of these, I think, but he doesn't eat these.
I want to
He
know,
eats-
Tom, how are these macros? 18 grams of protein, 3 grams of sugar,
Too much
250
sugar.
calories.
I don't understand any of that. All I know is a run, and then that should do it. But I do need to, like, just like Andrew's doing, and like Dr. Powers from My Eternal.
Yeah.
He's like, you really got to track this stuff, especially as you get older, because it's nearly
You
impossible
want
to
to split
lose
this?
weight. Yeah,
yeah,
we'll
it's
split it.
good. These are. I like these. John, what'd you think of these?
For a protein bar, they're okay, but they still taste like a protein bar. And for people at home, they don't look like Reese's peanut butter cups. It's a bar.
But there
Okay.
are
It's
peanut
It's coated
butter
in peanut butter
chips.
stuff and little peanut butter chips on it. It's
Yeah.
I think it's mostly whey.
They're
Is the
good.
protein in these.
I like whey because my neighbor yesterday told me that soy makes you gay. He did. I said, and I-
I read this. So dry.
And I said to him as I was walking in, but he didn't hear me. I was like, I don't think that's true as I walked inside. So,
It's like I'm eating mummy fingers. So dry.
yeah, very dry.
All right, John, keep talking. We can't talk now.
Funny. Let's see.
John, plug your
Any
website.
other-
Fill some
oh,
time.
Plug your
sure.
website, John, where people
That's
can find
guyontv.com.
you. Joey Mazak, can you bring me a water? Joey, I need a water. I'm dying.
I
Not a beer.
He
But
wants-
I
he
want
wants
one
a
so
beer.
bad.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Joey doesn't even understand where water is.
Yeah, he's like, he's running around like the place is on fire.
He's like, do they make alcohol water?
It's called beer. Thank you. Buddy. Oh, it's frozen. It's frozen hard.
Yeah.
Never mind.
That's the only one in there, by the way.
Oh,
All right, I might,
So compared to other protein bars,
Tom's
how's
got
that?
it. He's good now.
Yeah, I gagged it down. All right, what do we got next, John?
Oh,
I got
so
some, Joey.
so it's tolerable, but not the best in the world.
It's fine. I mean, it does taste like Reese's peanut butter cups. Although it just reminds me how mad I am eating this protein bar and not Reese's. You know, I'd rather eat
Sure.
just dry nothing, and then that tells me like, all right, you're punishing yourself.
I like Okay, I'm good now. Yeah, I like the flavor of that one. That's what I meant to say. Like, because if you and I are eating a protein bar, normally we eat it at our desk.
Yeah.
So it's completely okay to sit here and chew for 4 hours. You know, if we're like typing or doing email or something. But yeah, if you had to eat that in a hurry, that'd be hard.
Yeah. So Oreo.
2 kinds. I got 2 new kinds of Oreos. The Post Malone ones. Those came out right before the Super Bowl.
I love these.
And-
These are my favorite Oreos I've ever had.
And Oreo loaded for Tom. It's basically it's the kind it's one beyond the double stuff. What's the one that has 3? Loaded?
Now it's funny because this
this
is
is-
currently in my house now.
You have those?
You guys have defeated me. You've both tasted these before.
Yeah, well,
The
you
I think that's a
been-
first.
Well, you have been like inspiring us, like seriously, because we bring some of this stuff home to our children,
And before I open it, I will tell you what my sons said. They were very disappointed that the stuffing wasn't as loaded as
they wanted.
They wanted loaded.
Okay, let me talk about this too. When they say loaded, it's not only an absorbent amount of the white Oreo filling.
Yeah, the stuffing.
They're supposed to like mix like crumbled cookie pieces within the Oreo stuffing to make it like, as Tom is saying, and as the boys wanted, loaded. I'm kind of with the boys.
They
If
want
you're
it
gonna
thicker.
It's like cookie dust.
If you're
in
gonna
there,
say loaded,
They wanted a thick
boy.
big thick boy Oreo.
Yeah.
And then when they were like, well, these are just regular Oreos.
300% more cream filling isn't good enough for them.
Well,
They want 500%.
Yeah.
And then when
Because
you give
We
them
remember
five,
there are ones that just look like a can of Play-Doh between two cookies.
it's the marketing that got them because, and I tell them all the
Yeah.
time, the marketing would tell you that this is gigantic, and that's what they were expecting.
Yeah. Do you want to try one of these? Have you had the Post Malone ones?
I have not.
The Post Malone ones it's the first one with a swirled cream. Usually, if
Yeah.
it has two flavors,
It
they
is
just
very
kind of
good.
layer
Try
them.
one of those, and I'll
so
leave
it's
one with you.
it's a cream of let's see.
It's a.
Oh, there's swirled salted caramel and shortbread flavor. That's what's weird to me is the shortbread flavor is in the cream, not in the cookie.
Right.
So the Post Malone endorsement of this, it seems, I understand, like for the marketing, they just want it out, or Post Malone's popular and everything. But of all people to market a food product, he seems dirty. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like when you look at Post Malone, it always seems like he's dirty. No matter how, like after a shower, he gets out the shower, like even in a towel, I
Is
imagine
it the face? Is it
dirty.
the face tattoos?
It's scraggly. He's all scraggly.
Yeah, I'm a little scraggly. I'm taking offense to this. I'm taking offense to this.
Well, I'm saying that's what happens when
I'm
you.
going for a scraggly look.
Yeah. We all know what homeless looks like,
yeah.
and that's what Post Malone
Yeah, but-
and Daniel
But
now
some
looks
would
like.
say that most people, post people even,
Yeah.
that are scraggly shop at Walmart where most Oreos are bought.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah, okay, yeah. Well, they.
Oreo is a trashier cookie.
Is that it?
Hydrox is actually a trashier cookie. But, like health conscious people that think they're better than me don't typically eat Oreos. Like, you don't eat Oreos, and I know you think you're better than me.
No, I eat Oreos.
Occasionally, you'll eat
No,
one?
yeah, no.
What do you think of the flavor, though? Give me.
You know, that's the misconception that I'm on. I'm not dieting at all. I think if you work out all the time, you don't need a diet.
Gotcha.
And then besides that, you can eat
Did you
Oreos.
hear what he said? If you work out, you
No,
don't
but,
have to diet.
but that's why I do
Right,
it, so I
right.
can eat whatever I want. I don't
Gotcha.
have to sit there and be like, oh, I shouldn't have.
No, I
eat
understand.
whatever.
I understand.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, what'd you think?
So, yeah,
of
what'd you think?
What do you think of the flavor?
Don't need it. Is that like I
love it.
when I see Oreo brand, that's all I want, and maybe it's that's their. Like I guess business problem of like, man, we should have really gone into different flavors a lot earlier. That way people don't, when they see Oreo, I just expect a certain flavor.
Yeah.
And then when I eat this and it's off, I'm like, oh, not what I expected. Not that it's bad. Of course it's good. All the ingredients are good. But because it wasn't what I expected, I immediately like, oh, not as good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I do understand. That does make sense to me. And like we had Lady Gaga had one, and then Post had one. Is this the second of the celebrity endorsed
Ooh, I don't know.
Oreos? I think it is.
I've probably had like 12 or 15 different Oreos now. And for me, these taste fine, but all the ones that are artificial flavors start to taste the same to me. There was like a maple one, a cinnamon one, a caramel one, and they all just taste like something.
Are you a regular Oreo man?
Yeah, weirdly, I like the thins.
I like the thins as well. I like a crispy cookie, though. That's probably why.
Do we ever talk about this? Why the thins were invented? Thins basically started in the Japanese market because they tried selling regular Oreos in Japan.
Too
and
big
the
for their
Japanese.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it tastes like two Japanese, but they carry one Oreo.
Well, now see,
around.
now you're taking me back. Hey, let me finish this story. So they don't like sweets, so they didn't like regular Oreos in general. The Japanese culture doesn't like really, really sweet desserts. They like flavorful desserts, a little sweet. But even a regular Oreo.
They like
is
the
too much
fish,
cream.
like me.
Yeah. They like a
me
Mexican
in
fish
Japan.
pasta.
Like, of course, now all energy drinks come in the tall, skinny cans. But back when I was in college, that was unusual. And there was a Japanese guy living on my floor. And I hope I can say this because he said this. We asked him, why are Japanese cans, tall, or Sapporo? You remember Sapporo beer?
Yeah, I love
It was
that.
like a tennis ball can, but it tapered at the bottom. He literally said, John, we have little hands.
All right, all
And he
right.
said
my
that's
God.
why. He said,
I was messing around. I didn't know that. Yeah, I'm sorry, John.
but he said that's why the cans are tall and skinny. The
Yeah.
original Japanese soda cans are tall and skinny because it fits better in their hands.
Yeah,
Interesting.
like we had a 2-hand Foster's. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like-
Well, that's Australian hands. You know, they're big man hands. You know.
So let's go with the.
You gonna go loaded?
the
You want to
loaded-
split
Yeah,
one?
we'll try.
I'm telling you.
I don't
what-
think I can do one. Man.
Tell
Loaded
me
is
if you-
basically
'Cause I ate that
3
whole
times
Post
the
Malone
regular
one,
filling.
and it's
Yeah.
so sweet. It's so
See,
sweet.
Look how big the loaded ones. Hold on. It's.
Oh, they are big, dude.
but
they're
they're
very
not-
large.
They're not as.
Oh yeah, that's a thick boy, man.
It
Put
is-
that up on your camera.
It is thicker, but I'm saying for my sons because of the branding,
Oh, yeah.
loaded, how big
Yeah,
it
No,
is.
I
there's
got
one
it.
giant cookie on the
yeah.
package.
They
right?
they
Yeah, yeah.
wanted the giant. They wanted it
This is
double
like,
the
this is-
size of this.
This is like you and the chart that the doctor gives you the percentiles again.
By the way, my mom texted me. She's like, "I got the percentiles. We all did back then." And she's like, "I talked to us about them too." I'm like,
Marilyn
"Well, why'd
Monroe.
you tell me?
Mama Van's the
We're like
best.
an idiot. Anyway.
All right, you gonna try that one?
Well,
I don't think I can. It hurts my teeth.
Okay, yeah.
So if
Yeah.
anybody has had Mega Stuffed, this is the same size as Mega Stuffed, except there's cookie bits. In
Is
the
this
cream.
currently the biggest Oreo we have right now?
For sale right now? Yes, they had one that I don't know, I can't remember what it was called, but they had one that was just literally like an inch of cream.
Oh, maybe they should have called that an inch of cream.
I like this because it's traditional. Traditional Oreo
Yeah.
is thicker,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's still like when I bite into it, I'm like, oh, that's the Oreo I wanted.
You like a good old, you're getting up early on Sunday to go to church type Oreo, traditional Oreo.
Well, it just tastes like an Oreo. The
Yeah.
Post Malone ones, I'm like,
Too artificial, you think?
No, it's like it's off. It's
There's-
a little bit of Oreo.
See,
but
I love the Post Malone ones, and there's something else in there I like, and I
The
think
little
I'm
sugar crystals?
yes.
Okay.
I'm
there's texture to
I'm
the
glad
cream.
you said that because I thought I was imagining it. I was going to call it salt.
Mm-hmm.
Like-
Well, I think there might be salt in there too. They are a little more salty than your regular.
There's
Oreo,
something in
too.
there that's like a salt crystal or something when you're
Mm.
biting it, and I'm like, oh, that's great. Like it's pleasing to your teeth.
yeah. The adding the salt to it does help.
Amazing now, she'll only eat chocolate chip cookies around town if they're salted, and Jeff's Bagel Run
Yeah.
has some of the best damn cookies I've ever had. They do them in a sheet.
Yeah,
And for
yeah.
Valentine's Day, they had those sugar cookies.
Yes.
Oh my God! And now they do chocolate chip cookies, and I ain't even I'm not even talking about their bagels. Sorry, but their cookies are amazing.
So the last product I see
Yeah,
is
I brought in. They're doing this both in a zero sugar and a regular.
Ooh.
It's Coke Zero Sugar Orange Cream.
Now you know that we drink the zero sugar soda, so this is something we can drink.
And what's
This-
really funny is up until about 3 years ago, they had a Coke Orange Vanilla, and they
Yeah.
discontinued that, and they just restarted this Orange Cream, which is orange and vanilla.
Yeah, I'm
going
gonna
in.
sip Daniels. So
I'm
I
going
don't
in
waste
here.
it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Now, do you remember?
Yeah.
I thought when I was a kid, I didn't know what a dreamsicle was. We hadn't had dreamsicles, but
Yeah.
we had
That's
St.
good.
Joseph's Children's Aspirin. And it
Okay.
tasted like orange
Yes!
and vanilla.
Oh,
They-
yeah.
They discontinued that years ago because you don't want to give aspirin to a kid with a fever. It
Yeah.
can lead to Rye syndrome.
Yeah.
So it's a whole product that just went away. But when I was a kid, I was like, can I have one of those aspirins? Those taste good, Mom. And so that orange vanilla flavor is what's in this. I do like it because it tastes like a Coke, but it still tastes like orange and vanilla. And then let me ask you guys, I couldn't find the ingredient. So one of the reasons Dr. Pepper tastes the way it tastes is because there's lactic acid in it.
Okay.
So it tastes it's got that almost milk, almost yogurt kind of tartness to it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
different from like citric acid.
Sure.
And it's not on the label in this, but I get a little bit of that kind of, there is a little bit of cream flavor to it somehow.
I like a little bit of cream in everything I eat, John.
I left myself
That's
open
just
for that.
All
one.
types of
that's
cream.
just a rule I live by. They call
Yeah,
me they call me Daily Cream Dan.
Yeah, I like cream. I like the Wu-Tang song cream.
Yeah.
Did you see they're
Me
getting
and
back
my
together?
friends-
Yeah,
like
yeah,
cream.
yeah. I saw that. I read an article, or at least
For the children.
the headline that RZA was the reason Wu-Tang Clan got back together for the
Yeah.
final tour.
But with Run the Jewels.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, I
That-
gotta go to that. That's
that's-
like you and me. That's like if we combined our rap groups.
Now I'm a little worried about the Wu-Tang Clan's rust.
Yeah.
Because just like anybody, it's like if Eddie Murphy decided
Yeah.
to do a world tour, all of a sudden it's not going to be as good as you remember. No,
Yeah.
there's going to be he hasn't toured in a while, and sometimes it takes
Some people have still been pretty. Ghostface Killa's been pretty damn active.
Yeah, but not all together.
No, not all together.
So you get used to performing by yourself or with your crew that you have, and then all of a sudden you go back and you're like, all right, let's try to reinvent the magic we had 25 years ago, and then it's awkward. Like, I'd rather go at the end of the tour for sure than the beginning.
Yeah,
because they don't get better.
Get them to dust it off a little
But then
bit.
again, you never know. Tours fall apart.
Yeah.
Like every 5 years, Lauryn Hill announces a concert tour, and then they're done in like 2 days.
If it's Lauren, you want to get the third show.
Yeah.
First and second are bad. Third is spot on.
I'm surprised she made it all the way through the SNL concert.
Or you know what? I guess seeing something go wrong or like not go as well could be, at least you're there to see it live, right?
I'm trying to wonder if I've ever seen something. Yes, I have. I saw Hulk Hogan when he did that, when he went off script at the Ocean Center in Daytona.
Oh, really?
And he cursed. And he said the F word. And the whole place was like, what? We were all like, what?
And was
Did you think
this
it was a
regular
slip?
Hulk or Hollywood
No.
Hulk?
It was they were trying to pull a fast one on him or something. I could look it up and give you, maybe Ghost or somebody that knows wrestling knows it. But there was something that happened. It was political because everything in wrestling is, and there was something going on. And
F you, Obama.
No, it was something where they wanted him to do something, and then he didn't want to do it. So rather than give up the title or whatever, he went off script and cussed them out. Yeah, it was. So yeah, I think that's the only thing I've ever been to where it it went like things got shut down, or it was like,
Yeah.
You ever been to something that?
I get not of any band or like live performance I could really think of that went really wrong. And most of the time you can't tell because you're drunk and you're like, and there's like, I'm sure the band and the performer knows, but the audience never knows. And that's a lot of, you think on stage that everybody's, they caught that mistake and no one had no idea. They're like, oh, great show. And they're like, oh, that was the worst one we were, and we're like, really? That's what happens a lot. You get those tiny differences because they've done it 10,000 times. They could tell, the audience usually can't.
100%.
Unless it goes real bad. You fall off the stage. I've never been involved in one of those. I've always wanted to. Like where someone falls into the stage and then like they have to be carted out and then they're like, I'm sorry. They're a loud announcement.
Apparently that happened to John Goodman one time in Orlando at like one of our bars, like a Rising Star or one of the bars where you can get on stage and sing.
Okay.
And because I think he does that occasionally, and he had got on stage and was doing something like a Blues Brothers or something. Somebody told me this. This is gonna be like totally fake. And he fell off the stage like into a table. And I was like, oh, I'd love to have seen that. I've loved to have seen that.
Yeah.
I did see a stripper one time fall off the stage and into a table because her shoe broke. That was pretty cool.
Have you seen the Kelsey Grammer one?
No.
This is years ago. I think he was at Disneyland on a stage. They were doing some kind of TV presentation or something. And so it wasn't a stage he was used to. And to make it look cool, it had like little jiggy-jaggy bits at the edge. And so he was walking and he just walked right off. And basically, when I say he landed on a triangle, it didn't like get him point up, but it just hit him right between the legs. He basically landed with a leg on each side. And just,
man.
And I believe his quote was, "Oh, good Lord." And I heard him do an interview. He said, I had to say that because otherwise I would have said something else. Yeah.
Falling off stage is awesome.
Yeah. And it's funny, too, like the John Goodman thing. It happened at a time that no one had cell phone cameras and no one was videotaping
So it was just told to me. It may not have ever happened.
Yeah. Or but it's funny because I immediately doubted it because I didn't see it on video, and that's where my mind is now. And of course I didn't see it on video. It's before video,
right?
Not before people had the ability to video in their hand, or like they weren't set up to videotape every night, so they just didn't. And so you could make mistakes and have embarrassing moments that's not caught on tape.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
Yeah.
And now you cannot do that.
It's not a thing now. Not a thing.
Everything's recorded.
Yeah. Especially if you're a celebrity, like anywhere you walk in, people are just recording you with your phone. So no matter, even if it's not like you're just at some sort of charity banquet and you trip and you fall into some soups, then like some embarrassing, and then like for sure someone videotaped it because they were just videoing you walking.
This comes up a lot, but I'd be interested to see what you think about this, John.
Okay.
I read this yesterday, and I was going to talk about it later, but I think it's perfect to talk right now. Since we're talking about everything being on camera, have you guys seen the video of the actor personal trainer that goes off on the guy because his dog is unleashed?
No.
No.
So this guy's downstairs in a building. It's like late at night, and
Yeah.
they're both taking their dogs out. And one guy, the white guy at the time, has his dog off the leash, and he's like yelling at this Asian guy. And the Asian guy is just kind of taking it, and the Asian guy's got his dog on a leash, and his dog's like very, very uptight, big Doberman. And he's basically very calmly telling the guy, like, hey, I'm just asking you to nicely put your dog on a leash, like so it doesn't attack my dog or my dog doesn't attack your dog. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
rules, you know, that kind of thing. The guy's like an actor and a Hollywood personal trainer, but he knows he's being recorded, and he just flips out, like literally flips out crazy, like goes insane, and doesn't know that the Asian guy, I guess he thought, and the Asian gentleman, what's funny about it, he's like, I could see in his eyes that he thought that I was like some delivery guy delivering Chinese food, and he doesn't know that I'm like a world-renowned Chinese chef. Like I am literally the guy.
Yeah.
And so he's like flipping out on this guy, like just losing his ass on the guy. The guy's just calmly videoing, and then like that guy probably is done. Like it's already been put out there. Like it's crazy how people will, like you would know that. Like you and I are not spring chickens, but we know that people are videoing at all times.
Yes.
But you're losing. That's you lost it. You got an anger problem, and it doesn't matter. At that moment, you black out
You can
and
lose
you
it
go crazy.
that much over a dog?
People kill each other.
I mean, I
You
have,
know, like,
I have temper. I have a temper, and I pop, and
Yeah.
I'm reactionary, but to a point where you're like, it's an insane video. People should go out there and Google. It's probably all over TikTok now.
People end up the rest of their life in prison over some stupid
Yeah.
nothing, and so they can't control it,
Yeah.
which is crazy to me because because just like you said, like. You know, you're acting ridiculous. You should be embarrassed by the way you're acting, and someone's gonna video it and put it on the internet for the world to see.
Yes.
And everybody will remember that video will never die.
And the guy,
You know.
what he did is he took like the video, and then it was really impressive how the chef handled. He's a classically trained, very famous chef. The way the chef handled it was amazing. He put it up on his Instagram. He put like a photo, and then he wrote. I guess he's a writer too, and he just wrote like a really nice what happened and how he didn't like this, didn't understand why the guy was being mean, and how wrote like an article of like how we should all be nicer to each other, and hey, we're just trying to walk our dogs, guys. Come on, what are we doing here? Kind of a thing, but the way he handled it, I was like, oh man, you handled it so well. It just looks so good.
Of course, it also helps you handle it when you know it's going to be on camera.
True, that's true. Yeah,
I'm going to be really nice to this guy being mean to me because then
Yeah.
I'm going to put it on the
yeah,
internet.
it might
yeah.
calm
Make
you
him
down.
look
You,
like a fool.
you can kind of say it's premeditated. And then he writes this long post.
That's why he's
but-
so calm. I'm calm now because I'm going to put this on tape.
yeah, you know, by posting this, it's gonna, cause this guy a lot of problems.
A lot of problems. Yeah.
Anyway, John, thanks so much
Man,
for coming in.
always
Appreciate
good
it.
seeing you. Anything else to plug? Plug your
Well,
website.
thatguyontv.com. Just write about nonsense over there. I've been meaning to write about. Maybe by the time this airs, I'll get it together. Why can't it? Huey Lewis and the News. Before they were Huey Lewis and the News, they were Huey Lewis and the American Express.
Oh.
That was a terrible name, but they had a minor hit in Europe with a disco version of the theme from The Exorcist.
Really?
Yeah, like do you remember there was a disco hit that was the I Love Lucy theme? It was
I remember the Star Wars.
I better not sing anymore. But,
Yeah, I know the song you're
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about, and
yeah.
I remember the
So
Star Wars.
They had a hit in
disco.
Europe with the theme from The Exorcist.
Interesting.
It's weird. Also,
Was it like?
Kinda, yeah. And then Huey Lewis throws in no lyrics. You were just like hi and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff like that. Yeah.
it's weird.
Ready for love.
They went from Huey Lewis and the American Express to Huey Lewis and the News.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
you.
Both things that white people love: news and American Express card. Yeah.
But maybe that's why they
Yeah.
were like, "Oh, we can't go too far."
Well, and he's had quite a career. Like he was in a band called Clover before that. Played on Elvis Costello records. You wouldn't think Huey Lewis and Elvis Costello would go together.
It
but,
makes me sad that he's deaf and he really doesn't do as
Yeah.
much singing anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I always thought that as far as singers go, by the way, first album I ever bought with my own money was Sports by Huey Lewis and the News. Had a ton of hits on it. But yeah, I always thought his voice was super soulful. I was like, oh man, he's like one of those guys you'd listen to and you're like, wow, this guy can really sing. Like he can do all kinds
Yeah.
of, he can do blues, he can do standard rock and roll.
Was it the music and the performing that got his ears, like his hearing?
Yeah, just loud music for
Yeah,
decades.
yeah. That
He also, from what I understand, turned around at Universal Studios and while he was performing, and because they couldn't take a break, and Hopefully I'm okay telling this story. And he just peed off the back of the stage.
Oh, wow.
Well,
And,
you had to do what you
yeah,
had to do.
yeah. When you believe in love, you know.
John, thanks so much
Good
again.
seeing you, man.
Thank you.
And we will see you tomorrow.
Awesome. Thanks for doing that.
Very good. Did I fill a whole show for you?
Yeah. Perfect.
Out of an hour, how long do you have to fill?
You did?
No, that's burger.
How much is commercials usually?
43. Yeah, we do 45
Okay.
because the radio
that
station
go
plays
to?
15. That's Monday 3 and 4.
Gotcha.
And then since Joey's here, we'll do Joey. And then after, we'll do the live calls for that.
Perfect.
Oh, so what I was going to ask originally is, so in other words, I don't know how to run a real radio board because I only know how to run that crappy board.
I could show you
Where
that.
I was going to say, where do you learn? And I mean, I don't want to impose myself on you guys, but like, where does somebody learn that these days?
That's a damn good question.
Be able to volunteer. A lot of the radio stations, they are dying for content. Most of them.
Because I assume they also pay for crap.
Yeah. And then I bet you could do something. You could do a segment on a lot of different. I can give you some emails to email around, like Jack
sure.
Bradshaw and some other program directors.
Well, I think I told you this once. I talked to Jack briefly, and emailed it back and forth. And he's like, because I think it was too much like the captain's log thing. My favorite part about listening, I don't listen faithfully, but I turn it. He's like, hey, tell us if this song is on the honor.
Boom, ba-dun, dun, 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 dun.
Okay, all right, we'll talk about it.
I'm hoarse because I'm sick. I'm hoarse because oh my gosh, dude. Did the Lord's work.
All right, we'll talk about that.
What up, everybody? We are back, and we're back.
It's so funny hearing you talk about the classic days of radio. That was my first gig when I was 16 years old.
Oh, really?
Up in Pittsburgh.
Board op stuff?
No. I was on air. They called me the youth of the youth of the 90s. I was 16 years old. I took a job shadow day.
Okay.
And I said, I just wanted to have the day off. So my teacher said, well, you can't have the day off. And I said, well, in the back of my mind, I'm like, if I can come up with jobs that they don't have. So I was like, I want to be the guy that individually wraps cheese. I want to be the guy that puts the heads on Pez dispensers. And I want to be on-air talent for TV or radio. And I'm like, they won't be able to find any of those things. And I get the day off. And they said, there's a local adult contemporary radio station called WKST-FM, Star 92.1. And they would love to have somebody younger than 50 on their show. And I said, F word. I said, okay. And I went in and they were just like, so Joey, what do you got for us today? And I'm like, well, I was told that I had to come here and say funny words. And they're like, okay. And we started talking about Genesis and we started like all these cool bands from like the 80s. And I'm just like, I think my parents listened to that. And it just became a shtick. And so every morning from 6 to 7 a.m. I would go in and I was the youth of the 90s with Joey Mazant on WKST-FM, Star 92.1.
Youth of the 90s?
I like
What?
how they were just like, just bring in some 16-year-old
This
kid.
kid's got the fucking look.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, they made me do. They tried to be shock jocks. Like it was a bunch of old dads
Pull your
trying to be
dick
funny.
out, kid. Ah, look at his dick. We'll be right back.
They did what goddamn.
Hey, what's up? We're
Mike
radio
Busey.
DJs with no talent, and we got a kid in here, and this kid's got to pull out his dick. Ah, there it is. Ah, we're fired.
You're not wrong. It was they had me. It was whenever Star Wars Episode 1 came out. They had me go to Walmart and buy a bathrobe and a lightsaber, and I had to wear those and tell people I was a Jedi. I had to go to the donut shop.
Hey, tell everybody you're Obi-Wan.
So then you were 16 years old, and
Yeah.
they were just going around doing.
Oh, they bullied the s out of me. They would make me go. I had to go to Walmart and buy the lightsaber and the Jedi robe. Then I had to go.
What were the DJs yelling at you? What were their names? Big Frog and Texas Toast.
No.
What were their names?
It was Dale Brenner and John Neaney. And Dale Brenner was this dude. I think he's probably retired by now.
Dale Brenner.
He had a radio voice. Like when he naturally talked to you, he was like, "Hey guys, it's great to see you today." Is everybody? Then when he went on the radio, it was like, "Ladies and gentlemen," how like he overdid the voice that was already perfect for radio. It was obnoxious as hell.
Brenner or Bronner?
Brenner, Brennar.
B-R-E.
Yeah, Dale Brenner.
Well, they were in their 50s in the 90s. They're probably dead. You know what I'm saying? I know radio guys. They're not that
Oh my
healthy.
gosh.
Yeah, I think, is that him?
That's it. Wow.
Is that him? He got a kidney transplant.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And I've talked to that guy in 25 years.
He's not doing very good.
Uh-oh.
No, I think he's gone.
Well, he's got to be in his 70s.
No, I don't think he's around anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
But
that's
it was so funny. It was.
Yeah.
Then I had to go to May's Donuts.
What was
and,
the other guy's name?
John Neaney.
Nemi?
Neaney. N-E-N-E. I had to try Newcastle was his main hub.
Radio, John Nene. No, nothing. They're both dead.
Oh man, nice guys.
All right. Okay, Tom. Would you like to begin? Pardon me.
Yep.
Clear it now.
Here we go. In 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube, and you can watch us there. Just head on over and search for @TomandDanLive.
With us in studio, our buddy, Joey Mazan. How you doing, Joey?
What's up, guys?
Hey, buddy.
So, Joey, you just got back from Vegas.
I did.
What were you doing in Vegas?
So I actually was out there hanging out. Me and the missus went out to. I do my annual bet on the Steelers and everything like that. So it's about
okay.
that time trying to get it while the numbers are extremely obscene. When it's like, okay, the problem is the numbers are down this year, which I'm not going to get as much money if they win, but I think they might have a shot because apparently I'm only going to get like $12,000 if they win this year.
Okay.
Normally
all right.
it's like 50.
And you always put how much on the Steelers?
Just 100.
Okay.
Yeah. And, well, yeah, it's such absurd odds this far
Yeah,
out.
it's a wild bet.
Yeah, and a definite loser, by the way.
Yeah, but I mean, like, but it's
almost
fun because
100%.
I see the idea in like going there.
It's a tradition.
and
Yeah.
ceremonial putting the money on your team. I do like it because I feel like if I went every year and put $100 on my Falcons, it's my skin in the game of my way of saying I know I can't play and I know I don't live in Atlanta. But I can give this $100 willingly knowing it will probably be gone as my investment in the team. For some reason, that makes sense to me.
I almost put $100 on your team and the Dolphins, and then if they won, I was look. I was this close. I'm like, don't be stupid.
Well, you can do it for all teams.
I know.
Well, then you'd waste $300.
Exactly. I know.
Now I did hear that just because I listen to all these gambling podcasts that the Vegas numbers were down this Super Bowl, this past Super Bowl, and they theorize and I'm surprised it happened. Like they just noticed it this year over other years, and the Super Bowl was in New Orleans, which you can gamble at too. But that so many people, and there's DraftKings and FanDuel, and there's so many, like Florida's got Hard Rock, and that people aren't traveling to Vegas anymore to party for the Super Bowl and bet on it because they could just do it from home. You can bet on basically.
That's the allure of Vegas. I always thought the allure of Vegas was just the city being alive at all times,
But the Super Bowl weekend
Gotcha.
is like they had a lower Super Bowl weekend than they normally do, and like people out in Vegas said it was basically deserted. It used to be a mecca during Super Bowl weekend, and it was crazy parties, and casinos were packed. But it wasn't like.
I wonder
that
how much of that too was like we're tired of the Chiefs. And we don't want to go. I wonder if we had like awesome teams that we wanted in the Super Bowl in Vegas. It'll be right back. Like we're back, baby.
I guess it's just the location to gamble is not very much. The destination does it. You can gamble anywhere.
So how was it? How was Vegas?
Oh, it was
do you
amazing.
go to any of the? I mean, you're not a large man.
Oh, thank
If
you.
you were like a jelly roll sized man, you would go out there and you would go through all the crazy. Do they still have all the crazy buffets out there?
Oh my gosh, the one
yeah.
at Caesars. There's one at Caesars called Bacchanal, and they try to make it all Greek, and there's 40 tables, and each one has food from a different country, and it's $100 for lunch.
All right.
Oh,
$100.
You could take my Falcons bet and just treat yourself to lunch.
The problem is they said, well, you need to make at least 8 trips to the buffet to really get your money's worth. And I says, I'm full after a salad and like a burger, and I'm already full. And I'm like, so it's just not worth it.
Yeah, no, not for I can't consume that much food. That's the thing.
It's
like
not healthy to do that.
I'll spend $100 on something really, really good, but not just the amount. It's like the amount of it doesn't really move the needle for me because I can't eat that many calories in one sitting.
That we didn't do any of those Vegas buffets. I've never been to one. I've only been to Vegas one time, but I didn't do any buffets, not even one.
I made the mistake of what you joke about on death row when your last meal is a steak, and you're like, why? I could have been eating this my whole life. I made the mistake of getting a Wagyu steak for the first time in my life.
Was it good?
It was $200.
Yeah.
I just can't go back now. I can't go back to regular steak. I can't.
Sure you can.
I hurt myself. I ruined myself.
That's what I said about ugly girls. I go back to idiot. I could go to men if I'm desperate enough. I can go straight men butt.
Yeah. And what will make you go back is the price of Wagyu steak. And then
Or
you're like,
just
I cannot eat this all the
sheer
time.
desperation.
It's just like I shouldn't have lived outside my means. I was like, you know what? I've had a good year. Why did I do this?
Yeah, it is good. And you do you look at some of these things, flying first class, Wagyu steak, just a high-end seafood and stuff, and it's like, man, this is better than what we're normally eating. But and then you think like, God, rich people, they eat this all the time, And,
But I don't think they do.
No.
Some rich people just eat crazy stuff. Like I know some rich people that might be connected to my family, and they eat off of paper plates and they eat like jars of mustard and like a beef stick. It's gross.
Well, that's what I don't understand.
They're weirdos.
Some of these rich people are eating McDonald's.
No, like worse than that.
Fast
like
food.
Gas station snacks.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing?
Like that little sleeve of cookies. It's grandma's favorite cookies or whatever.
Yeah.
Don't eat that. But I know some rich people that's what they eat.
And every time I make this argument about Warren Buffett or whatever, Trump, all these people, they eat it. They're like, oh, I love this fast food. And then I'm like, what the hell are they doing? And people are like, oh, fast food's good. What are you doing? What are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah, but they're objectively, there are better ingredients than what's in this fast food. You could have a Wagyu Big Mac, a chef put together the same sauces, you know what I'm saying? Like a Wagyu Big Mac, and it will be, I mean,
you can't even put
objectively, like I'm saying, like 100 times better than the stinky Big Mac they serve you, the pores. You know, it's trash, and it's not even real meat, or it's like pink meat.
It's like a stamped, painted on.
So yeah,
painted on.
I know you like the Big Mac sauce and then the ingredients, but they just get the better ingredients. And that is going to be better.
Takes too long.
No, but with unlimited money, you can have it whenever you want.
Where do you stay when you go to Las Vegas and you stay somewhere? Where are you at? Do you have a place that you love to go to?
Yeah, you get a casino host, and they usually take care of you and everything. So I stay for free. I always go to New York, and I just love the atmosphere there. It is a less expensive hotel. I've been offered the Bellagio, but the problem is I like to gamble late at night while I'm drinking Makers at a table until 3 or 4 in the morning. Those tables are like $50 minimums. I don't want to blow through all my money in 25 minutes. So I go to New York. I like that I can get pizza at 4 in the morning when I'm a little, you know.
Yeah.
So
hold on, Joey. You guaranteed me that if I play with you one day, and one day it's coming, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
That we will win guaranteed.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it the day after I die in hip surgery. The day after I die in hip surgery,
I put gambling with Joey.
I saw it. Did you see that?
No, but I'm gonna die.
If you go around the corner here into our office, which is really just where we eat lunch silently, you'll see on the calendar the day after my surgery, 3/11, the 12th. You're gonna be in Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Now, did you guys already place a bet on whether or not I die?
Oh, yeah.
You collect your winnings on the 12th, right? Is that what you do?
Of course.
At New York.
I'm like, they can't put this M-word to sleep. Like, he'll never wake up. I said that in my own brain. Not out loud. But I wrote that down,
I didn't hear
on the board.
I didn't hear anything.
Anyway, so you guaranteed me you win, and I feel like this is the same guarantee my buddy Dre gave me.
Well, you give guarantees,
that
right?
we'd get all the snook when we went fishing, and all I got is bit by no-see-ums all over my body.
The White Claw fishing boat gave us a guarantee. You have given multiple guarantees to our listeners. You've given guarantees to people that have worked here.
Yeah. I like guarantees.
Someone say you're the king of guarantees.
And I'm starting to think these guarantees.
You're Gary T's. Gary T's
are based off nothing here because it's just a gamble, hence the name gambling, whether you win or lose, and same thing with fishing, and same thing with everything.
Yeah.
And
what is your wife doing? Like running around? Like was she shopping? Like
no, she likes to be a part of it. She doesn't gamble, but she likes to sit next to me and tell me to quit spending money.
Okay.
No.
It is nice to. I wish my wife would stand next to me, look pretty while I'm gambling.
Oh, dude,
you know what I mean? Like that's an old school. I feel like that's very old Hollywood to have the lady next to you, like, oh, he's gambling. That's a man's game.
So I'll give you the quickest one. We were at New York. We're playing 3-card poker. She's sitting next to me, and this loud guy. I don't want to. ACT. I'm trying not to curse.
Jim Colbert. It was Jim Colbert. Wasn't it?
Sits next to me.
He wanted to say the S word for Hispanics. That's what I saw in his eyes.
And he loudly sits next to me and he keeps staring at her. And I'm like, hey, what's up, man? And he's like, hey, you having good luck?
Hey, man, I'm going to hit on your girl, man.
Oh, dude, he wouldn't leave her. And so finally he wouldn't stop staring at her.
I'm
so
a tough hombre.
we were like, hey, color me up. And he goes, hey, before you leave, does your girlfriend have a sister? And I said, well, my wife has a brother, which I think is more your speed, but we're out. You take care. And like his buddies all.
Burn!
Oh, you got him.
Sickest burn ever.
Middle school Joey. Insults.
I'm rubber and you're glue.
Awesome. You got him, Joey.
We just got him.
You nailed him to the cross, man.
Oh, great.
Crucified.
It was just so funny. She's just laughing. We're walking away. The girl
No, but she does have a brother, and I think that's more your speed. # gay. Away. And then you flew through the ceiling. Just walked away. Let's get to some Disney news that's going to be wrong.
Right.
The chat room is salivating for your misinformation.
Here we go.
They're wild today.
What do we got?
What was actually one of the reasons I was in Vegas was we were checking out the spot for Universal Studios is doing a haunted Halloween Horror Nights in Las Vegas.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is the year-round one, right?
Yeah, so you're gonna if you're a freak for horror nights like me and Gemma, we go. Last year we went 23 times. Last year we absolutely love Halloween Horror Nights. So we went to check out this thing, and the location it's huge. I cannot wait.
So when we talked about this before, and I remember thinking, why not do that here? But then I thought, oh, well, Universal's not going to want to give up that revenue. That I mean, they make an insane amount of money
Just
for
add
that
to it.
A month and a half.
It's
So
never
you could,
take away. It's only add to.
but you got to get it into some other part of the country because it can't be anywhere around Central Florida because that is going to take away from the uniqueness of Halloween Horror Nights here.
Yeah.
Well, because they're also opening up a kids park in Texas. Universal Studios is doing a cute almost rides that all the kids are going to be tall enough to do. It's like all the cute stuff, Trolls and Shrek and all that type of stuff.
The smaller
Yeah.
Why are you pointing at me? Why are you doing it? You're so mean. You're so mean, man.
Well, you said Trolls. And
No. Are you like you're like Whiplash?
So it's going to be year-round Halloween Horror Nights, and is it going to be the same themes year-round, or do they change them each year? Do you know anything about that?
I figure whatever I say, they're going to roast me anyway, so I'm going to just say I'm not quite sure.
Okay,
So,
all right.
No,
But-
don't say that.
I mean, yeah, no, it's going to be this. They're
go
never
all
going to
in.
change it
Go-
ever.
Go all in on it.
Yeah, it's going to be huge.
It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be amazing and both bad.
Is it going to be on the main strip?
No, it's going to be attached to. They got this really cool complex. It is called Area 15, which
Okay.
is all video games and
I
fun
believe
things.
you mean 51, you idiot. Duh.
And that's attached to something called Meow Wolf, which is another just video game place.
We
And
have one of those here,
Okay.
don't we? Have a Meow Wolf in Orlando, or did we?
I
Or
think
were
we're
we?
getting one. I think.
Yeah, it's kind of like Meow Wolf is like what Deezerland's trying to do, but they
Yeah.
do it right. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Is that mean to say? Like Deezerland is like, hey, let's buy a mall and shove some old man's trash in it,
Yes.
right?
But then they understand that
They're like, hey,
Deezer-
did you hear? Deezer's got trash he wants to fill up the mall with. And that's what happened.
your name reminds me of Deezerland, which is what I would call the villages or something. You see what I'm saying? It's not inviting. It's not some place I want to
Yeah.
go. Didn't anybody bring that up in the meeting of
I love it.
Deezerland? They're like, what should we name this place?
It's the number one place. Oh man, I shouldn't say this because this is part of the reason why I'm almost getting a
God damn it.
divorce. Anytime my wife says, "Where do you want to go for dinner?" I say Deezerland, and as a joke.
All right.
And imagine if your husband, anytime you ask, "Where do you want to go to dinner?" he says, Deezerland 1 million times. You'd want to divorce him, right?
Well,
It's funny. I think it's funny to say Deezerland, but Andrea is going to divorce me if I don't stop making jokes.
I do make a similar joke with Ravadash.
I love that joke. Yeah, that's why I love you. I love that joke.
I'm like, Ravadash?
I love that joke.
Anyone up for some Ravadash?
I love that joke. Okay, Disney. Let's do some Disney.
Let's talk about Disney.
Yeah.
So they are gutting where the old ferry boat is across from Liberty Tree Tavern in Magic Kingdom. That's getting moved, and they're going to be building Cars Land there, and there's going to be a Villains Land there. They finally, after years, I've been hearing about the rumors of Villains Land since like 2003 when I moved here. They're like, oh, did you hear that there's a Project Fifth Gate? And I'm like, what's that? And they go, it's going to be the fifth park that Disney's building, and the whole thing is going to be villains. And I'm like, wow, that sounds awesome. They should definitely do that. And, it's an idea that was kicked around the wheel well for everybody just kind of be like, oh, yeah, villains. It took them 20 years, and they're finally like, maybe we should put this Villains Land in.
It is weird they waited so long because they have
I'm not even into villains anymore. I'm back into the good guys.
Yeah.
I went through my villain phase when I was in my early 40s, and now that I'm in my late 40s, I'm way more back into the good guys.
It kind of makes sense that because I'm like, why not? You have unlimited money. You're making more money than you ever have. Why not just keep building as fast as possible? But I guess with that big of a corporation, you have to have like a 100-year plan, right?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're looking way far in the future, and we're like, well, if we build it too
Geezer's
fast,
not.
I
He's
know.
not looking at the future.
I know.
Geezer's not doing
Yeah.
it. Oh, excuse me, Deezer's not.
He's like, build it now. Call
He's
it
like-
teaser.
He's like, what is it, an old mall? Just push everything out of it and put my cars in it, you slobs.
Teaser it up.
Yeah, I'm Deezer, and I'm going to have a bunch of Orlando slobs fill a mall full of my cars
So
and scooters.
and where's this going to be? Where the old ferry boat is?
Yeah, that ferry boat that just does a lap and doesn't look at anything.
Okay.
That's where that's going. They're
Are
finally
they
gotten-
keeping the ferry boat?
I mean, if they are, I don't know what they're gonna do with it. Maybe turn it into a restaurant or
We
something.
should buy it. We should buy the ferry
Oh my
boat.
gosh, Tom and Dan ferry
I've always
boat.
wanted a ferry boat.
What's his name from SNL
Yeah.
bought the Staten Island ferry.
They haven't done anything with it yet.
Yeah,
It's Colin Jost and Pete
Pete
Davidson.
Davidson, yeah.
And they went in on it and they spent like a lot of, I'm gonna say like $500,000
Yeah.
to buy the Staten Island ferry, and they're redoing it and trying to make different levels of it, like fun and like party rooms and stuff. And I don't think they've done much to it, but that's the rumor.
Well, what's funny is that we're going to go to New York in April, and some people that have friends of ours that have been in New York a bunch of times are like, don't go into the Statue of Liberty and do the tour because you're stuck on there for 4 hours. Just take the Staten Island ferry. It's $2, and you'll see it from the water.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
And both,
That's fine.
and then
Yeah, dude.
and then it's like
I think that's a better experience because you can feel like what it would be like coming to America, right?
yeah,
I'm saying
exactly.
that's not
No.
a joke. I'm saying like
Well-
imagine being on a boat and thinking, okay,
Well-
people were doing this at a time when it
Yeah.
was like, what the?
Oh, dude,
It's a tourist thing to do, but they're like, yeah, it's cool to see the Statue of Liberty from a boat, but just take the ferry. Don't do the Statue of Liberty tour because you're stuck on the island,
I
and then
agree.
you're looking straight up. It's too tough.
No.
Like, see it from a distance.
I agree.
And but there's nothing to do in Staten Island. I looked, I looked at it. It's a hellhole apparently.
Yeah.
Even the SNL, Pete Davidson make fun of it.
Why
or
don't you go
whatever.
get a slice?
But then I thought, I was like,
Right?
oh,
Aren't you
Yeah,
supposed to
you
do
do.
stuff
You
like
gotta
that?
get a Pete.
You
Yeah.
gotta
Am
get
I-
a slice.
am I taking the ferry that Pete Davidson and Colin Jost
they
bought?
They have
but
a
haven't
new
used?
one.
Okay.
The
all
chat
right.
room is saying 100 million. Well, somebody said 1,000,000%. You got to do it.
No, dude, I did it when I was in high school. It's literally that episode of South Park where they go to the carnival, and there's a ride called the line ride where you wait in line, and then you get off of it, and they go, do you want a picture of you standing in line on the line ride? That's all the Statue of Liberty is. You just walk. And when you get to the top, you'll walk back down, and you're like, I learned nothing. I gained nothing. This was a waste of time.
Yeah.
Absolute dog ass.
Yeah. But then I'm like, well, do we have to take, because I still have to go to Staten Island, then turn around and take the ferry back.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
sucks.
What else? Have you
And then
thought of
I-
any other things you guys want to do?
Oh,
or
Crystal has this
Oh, you go for it.
itinerary of 1,000 things.
are you
or
going to
whatever.
go? I hope you do some of the things that I laugh at my friends for doing. Like, I hope you sit behind the Tonight Show desk.
No.
And,
You can do that over at Deezerland.
I hope you get your picture with, like, the David Letterman sign.
No.
I hope you get a slice and you're holding it and you're giving a tall thumb.
No.
You gonna see any musicals?
No, we're just seeing Ricky Gervais at Radio City Music Hall.
Yeah, he's just going for a bitter atheist.
I'm like, he's grumpy like me.
This guy hates everything and doesn't believe in God.
I love it.
And I'm giving him lots of money right now. But Crystal's
And there's
got,
nothing to do on Staten Island, and now I'm grumpy because the atheist stopped doing his comedy.
And then Crystal put together. She got insulted because I said, I was like, "Can we? Let's just."
What happened to what you told me? Don't say nothing. You told me to do that with Andrea. You said don't say nothing.
Well, she planned this whole thing, and then she's like, "I don't know whether to do this or that." Blah blah blah. And so I'm like, why don't you just go to YouTube and then type out like everything to see in New York City for 2 days, what to do, not to do. Like
Yeah.
there's influencers that have already planned this out. And it's there, and we just do what they do. You know, I'm thinking like we did that in Moab and stuff, and it was good.
Yeah,
like
you did the Jake Paul Moab trip. It was awesome.
no,
Yeah.
they all they do is plan your trip for you. It's all the information.
And then eventually you have like Amber Rose put her bare ass on your Lamborghini.
And then
it's awesome.
all that Crystal heard is I didn't like the trip she planned. And then I'm like, why did you hear
Can I tell you
that?
something? Can I tell you something?
Why did
she
you hear
already-
it like that?
Did she present you with the trip and then you said, well, why didn't you just go to YouTube and do? Is that what you said? Because I would have heard that too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's basically what I
Well,
said.
you negated her work. You basically said, you know what you just did and it took you a long time? People have already done that and you could have just done that, and I knew that.
Well, all I said is, why didn't you do it right? I don't know what's wrong with that. I say that to a lot of people, and they get so mad about it.
I don't get mad about it anyway. I just hear it.
Just
yeah.
accept it.
Yeah, I just accept it.
Let it roll off.
So, anything else, Joey, before we go?
Yeah, absolutely. The big thing, I think Disney's finally embracing the markup that is alcohol sales. I think they're finally like, look, just give the people what they want. So they're opening up a Pirates of the Caribbean themed bar across from the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
No, really? Is
Yeah.
that the first time they open a bar in Magic Kingdom?
Yeah,
That's not a sit-down restaurant?
No, it's going to be same policy as like Oga's Cantina, which is the Star Wars themed bar.
Okay.
You can't take the drinks out with you. So it stinks that I don't want to be drunk in a bar. I want to be drunk in public. I hate that I can't walk around the Magic Kingdom with my beer, but whatever.
I like to be able to pee on somebody else's feet.
Well, at least there's another bar option.
Now, we're never going to get bustiers, pirate bustiers at Disney, right?
That's too woke.
Yeah, we're never going to get like big, like the whole
No,
point
no.
of pirate ladies is that they would wear some sort of a corset and hoist up up your mateys,
Well, the truth is, if you go all the way back to the very beginning of it in the chat room, I actually need your help on this one. There is a lingerie store that used to be inside the Magic Kingdom.
Really?
Yeah, but I think it was at
I
Disneyland.
like garters. oh, that's a butt plug.
It was.
Hey,
I mean,
stop it. Oh, God. Stop that. Oh, God, you're tickling my beehole.
Come on.
Oh.
This has to be like early 80s, right?
I think it was actually early 50s.
Early
It was one of the
50s.
original Walt
Oh, if
Disney
it was
one.
like 50s lingerie, it's just like long
Disney-
gowns that smelled like Walt Disney's cigarettes.
Disneyland, then, right? Well,
I think it was Disneyland they had it.
Okay.
I don't know if they ever opened one in the Magic Kingdom, but they actually, while we're on the subject, they had a lingerie store that was supposed to be for girls that wanted to dress like the princesses, and it was that
Can
type
I ask you a question, Joey?
Of course.
What is the purpose of a bustier or a bra that has cutouts for the nipples? I don't understand it. Why do they even do it?
I can answer that. It's best of both worlds. Thank
Thank you, Tom.
Because they let them out, and
You know,
then
I've never really thought about that
Hey,
before.
yeah. Then it's not. They're not jacked up
stop.
anymore. They're all loose to the side.
I'll put them through the armholes.
All right, Joey. Thank you very much for coming by. We appreciate it.
I've been working on my Mickey. I don't know
Oh,
if
it's
you
perfect.
know. Yeah,
It's
I've been
perfect.
working on it. Been working on
You
it.
did Walt proud.
If anybody wants to contact you to do a tour through the theme parks, which that's Joey's business,
It
by the
is.
way.
Yeah. You can save some time.
And he knows how to do it right.
Absolutely.
Any family can hire you, right?
Absolutely.
They don't have to be rich, but it helps.
It helps a little bit. No, we do. Yeah, I can even. It's as far as taking you around, walking around the parks, or something as little as just, hey, will you just book my lightning lanes for me? And that's the one thing that's really popular right now is people are like, it's a whole new generation of people who don't like people. And it's like, can you do this job without actually talking to me or hanging out with me? And it's like, yeah, book your lightning lanes for you. So we do that too.
I like that.
Yeah, people that don't like people.
Yeah, I like that.
People that
Yeah.
don't like people.
But I don't want to tell you that I don't want to talk to you. That's the awkward part.
Just write it on a piece of paper.
Okay, all right,
Trust
I'll
me.
do that.
Just slide me a piece of paper that says it. I'll let Joey know.
Yeah, talk to somebody for 10 seconds. You can already tell they don't want to talk to me. It's
I
like,
don't know.
look, I don't want to.
I don't know if this is true, but I'm going to say what Christine said. She said, and this is the lingerie shop within Disney, maybe wrong, 1955, called Intimate Apparel Shop, hosted by, quote, the Wizard of Bras.
If that's not a pun, it should
Is that
be.
real?
Got it.
Or did you just write that, Christine, because you're super funny?
You're a
That's
genius.
funny.
Imagine-
The Wizard of Bras is fantastic.
Imagine if you had that vintage Wizard of Bras sign, like from
Oh,
original
hundreds of
1950s.
thousands.
Name your price.
Yeah.
Because the Disney people will come for it.
Absolutely.
Is that hanging up in someone's house right now?
She said, yes, that's real. She said it closed in 6 months. Yes, it's real, and I'm not that funny. No,
Yes,
you're
you
pretty
are.
funny.
You're a genius.
You're pretty funny. That's a little more. For that time, I would have never guessed that they would have even used the word bra. That's why I think that sounds fake.
But
That's like Ozzy and Harriet. You're not even sleeping in the same beds, and you can say the word bra on a sign that kids can see.
Well, remember, Walt Disney did work with Salvador Dali that was crazy.
He was crazy.
Like Walt Disney
forgot
was
about
an
that.
artist. They had to get rid of a lot of the stuff that made Disney because just in general, people are like, oh, that's a little, oh no, I don't think we can do
It is now the Glass and China shop.
Oh,
she says.
cool.
So there you go.
Wait,
That's
but
interesting.
It was 1955. I mean, we're not. I mean, people were around. Like women could just now vote at a certain. You know, what I'm saying? People were like, well, "I remember when I couldn't vote," or like, "There was a segregated
Yeah,
water
I
fountain."
know, I know.
It's not that.
It's
you know,
not that long ago. Yeah.
we're like, how could this happen? It's like it was an insanely different time.
Oh, that's another good word. Christine goes on. She says they called it a corsetateria. Corsetaria? Corsetateria.
That's genius.
Because they were probably like, this whole place can't be just for kids. There's no money. Especially the
Kids don't have money.
Yeah, we need adults here.
And it was originally supposed to be sort of a real Main Street, right? So if you had a hat shop on there, it would sell real hats. It wouldn't just be like selling BS.
Yeah, of course.
It's a little more goofy now, because
course.
it's more of a theme park. But I think at the time, he was trying to do like, this is a real... Hey, it's a real Main Street USA. you know?
Well,
it was modeled after his hometown, Marceline, Missouri,
Yeah,
back in
yeah.
the corner. That's why all the buildings are short. They're not bigger than 2 stories. That's why at the very end of it, you have his favorite restaurant he used to eat at as a kid with some of the dishes that his mom would make him when he was a child. It's very true to the era.
I wonder if there was a Mickey Mouse cigarette vending machine.
Oh,
yeah. Because everyone smoked back then.
Put some quarters in, man.
Yeah, they were. Everybody was smoking.
Well, that's the rumor of the Disney point. Whenever you become a cast member at Disney, they teach you, a couple things you can't do. You're not supposed to bend over. You're supposed to kneel down.
Bend over.
You're not allowed to point with one finger. One finger is
Don't
disciplinarian.
drop the soap.
I've always wanted to say that as Mickey Mouse.
I love it. And that's why every time you see somebody point, they either point with 2 fingers or an open hand gesture because it's supposed to say, you're not mad at them. You're saying, oh, it's over that way. The reason why people assume that happened is because you'll notice that you won't see a picture of Walt Disney holding a cigarette. Disney bought every picture, and they had the cigarette superimposed. So the Disney point is just because Walt was always holding a cigarette in his 2 fingers.
Yeah. The 2 things that were
I'll
voted...
Photoshop a cigarette. Take that, Disney.
The it was voted upon. The 2 things that people wanted to say in the Mickey Mouse voice the most were... I'm not going to do it.
Number 3.
Come on. Come on.
Give me a top 5 1 minute of comedy.
yeah,
Come on.
It was. Let's see. The number 1 thing that people wanted to say as Mickey Mouse is...
Let's go, Brandon.
That's the number 1. That's the number 1. I had to pivot out of my other one. It was too disgusting.
That was
And
love
then
it.
pivot out of it to something also bad.
I'm glad that became funny. That is funny. Anyway, all right, Joey.
Hey, thanks for being here, man.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
All right, we will be right back.
Got it.
Oh, man.
Super fun. Sorry about your voice.
Oh, it's all right. I'm fine. As long as I don't put anybody in the
Where's
channel.
this go?
That's Friday 1. And then we'll come back for live call Thursday for Friday 2.
Guys, we're going to, I guess, break for a little bit of time, and we'll be back 10 minutes before 1. If you got a call, if you got something you want to ask us, live call Thursdays, so call in at 1 p.m.